So now I would like to invite Professor Lingaraj Sahoo. He is the professor in Bioscience and Bioengineering Department of IIT Guwahati. And he is also visiting professor in Gifu University in Japan. So let's welcome Professor Lingaraj Sahoo. So Lingaraj Sahoo, this is all over. Try to share your thought within 15 minutes. Thank you.
So Jai Guru and very good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers and all individuals who have enormously contributed to this great conscious gathering in this evening. Friends, I actually come from an institute where, and the topic which has been assigned to me by Sri Acharya Dept and Param Pujyapat Sri Avindada is that how love can bring peace in my mind. And this youth conference becoming 2023, how it makes sense to me and how it is relevant to all of us in scientific community, in student community, that's going to be my talk to this evening. Friends, I come from an institute where, like all IITs, you have great talents of our nation. They shine like rocketing high. And at the same time, they also fall prey to the perils of their inner world. They are unable to control their inner urge, inner anxiousness, and they fall prey to the perils of their inner world. And they are actually what we see in our institutes, all across all IITs. You see, recently there is a faculty member at IIT Guwahati, he committed suicide. And a Japanese student who came for joint degree program at IIT Guwahati, I actually went to airport to receive him, and in 20 days stay at IIT Guwahati campus, he committed suicide. It was very painful to see his parents come all the way from Nagoya city to take his dead body back. Actually, what we see our students and students, colleagues, and people working in all spheres of life, they are subjected to constant test against their patience, forbearance, and perseverance. A battle, they continuously battle. There is a battle between their IQ and their emotional quotients, and that's how they fail miserably at the end. We have seen some of our toppers in the second year, third year BTech program, at the end of the fourth year, they have left without completing their degree. When I was the warden of some hostels, I myself was witness to see some students committing suicide. And there are many dropouts and there are numerous counts which are difficult to explain. We have counselors, but then students are not able to talk to the counselors. They're not able to discuss their issues. So our mind actually, if you see the students, their mind, I have spoken to many students. One of our students, few of our students from IIT Guwahati, they are doing postdocs and PhD here. They are also here in the audience. We have tried best to meet each and every students who come in, who interact with us, and every time I see their minds, their body is mutilated with unfulfilled desires, their unmet needs, failure, despair, criticism, loneliness. We have even met many students in the hostels. There are continuous interactions. We have seen each one of them are going through loneliness, sorrow, withdrawal, rejections. There is a sense of uncertainty, insecurity, anxiety, pain, and fear. Sometimes they are of guilt, remorse, shame, confusion, frustration, and depressions. And when belief in good, Sisi Thakurji said, when belief in good is injured, with the age of anti-thought, the doubts comes in your mind in a run with a triumph of evil. Friends, I'm also no exception to this depression and frustrations in my career, and this becoming, how it is apt for me, how it makes sense to me. I'll share my experience. When my career at IIT Guwahati, when it was at the peak in 2012 or so, 13, when I was soaring high with grants, projects, and doctoral students, postdocs, students from all foreign countries, they are flooding my lab. A misunderstanding with one of the students flared up, as Sujata Ma said, hearsay. It flared up to a state of police case and filing in court. A number of students who stood witness against me, to whom neither I know nor I met ever in my life. Colleagues coerced the institute, and I was thrown out of my job. For me, the whole world came to a grinding halt. My heart was bleeding, scorching with pain, screaming in the wilderness, and all that I was doing day and night, sitting in my quarter and looking from the window. That behind my window is, I was thinking, abstracting, imagining, and trying to dissect out where my moral dogmas went wrong. My mind was mutilated, exhausted, and mourning with painful remorse. Internally I was crying out, where am I? Is this my real self? Where am I have lost today? As if a flower with full bloom suddenly withered in no time. It was the time I was in utter need of something which will soothe me. No, there was no friends, colleagues were not speaking to me, relatives were making isolated, and I approached all the gods and deities. I tried to speak to them. I found them dead and gone. None of the god and deity came to my help. Longing for an magnetic pull, a heavenly light which could re-establish faith in me, enlighten me, I came close to a mystic, celestial, supreme charm of Sri Thakurji, embodied and manifested in Acharya Parampara, Acharya Dev, Sri Acharya Dev. And that's how I came across the mystic charm of Sri Thakurji, who descends from his being of light and sound into the solid world of flesh and blood. Sri Thakurji, or the Lord, as we all call him. Millions and millions are impressed with this genius of this queer personality. They become friends and followers, and I'm also no exception. I could not resist his supreme charm, heavenly glow, so loving and so enlightening and penetrating that people across the religion, caste and creed, they throng to him. And the Acharya Parampara, they try to meet Sri Acharya Dev, and seeking the pursuit of truth, there are large sections of people, include scientists, philosophers, doctors, educationalists, reformers, the poor and the rich, the young and the old, inspired with his slogan of love, life, and lived, that is becoming. He who has definitive answers for all individuals, whoever go to him, he has definitive answers for all individuals and nations. For all those who aspire, that like us, we aspire for our freedom, yet unrealized in its truest sense by man. He who reveals, Sri Thakurji, who reveals nuanced truths of life, human nature and relationships, how vital they are, that lie beyond easy and ordinary compassions. And the Acharya Parampara, Sri Thakur, who is manifested and embodied by blood and flesh in Sri Acharya Dev. The kingdom of heaven, when it comes down, Acharya Parampara, in whom, when I met first time Sri Acharya Dev, and in whom, by actions, by deeds, by thoughts, by behaviors, everything Sisi Thakurji, whatever has been described by Sisi Thakurji, you find in him. In actions, thoughts, behavior, descents, with sympathy, apathy, throne of purity and bliss, everything you find in him, who understands so profoundly and who responds with such intelligent keenness to all your questions, so magnanimous, so real, so absorbing. Unless and until you meet him, you will not realize how absorbing, how penetrating his looks, his behavior to all of us, and that is like a magnetic, that brings a magnetic changes in our life, in our thoughts, like we perceive the ultra atoms in science. Attachment for the great, Sisi Thakurji said, attachment to the, your attachment for the great infuses greatness unconsciously. The moment you attach yourself to any great, it will infuse greatness unconsciously. He would cheer up everyone with courage to push and to success. Whoever has gone there to ashram and tried to speak to him, any problem, any difficulties, any diseases, and he would talk to everyone with and try to encourage with a push to success and bliss, but infuse not terror. To make one feeble, depressed, and umbilical. Sisi Thakurji said, be ye whatever, regret not what has happened. Don't regret whatever has happened in the past by the impulse of your blind misfortune. Let not be feared by the taunting insult of your actions. Shout, cheer up, be unquivered and attached to the ideal, the beloved, whose love enters unquestionable, top to bottom, whatever you may be. Install him with all your purpose, with all your service, with all your love and emotions, elating everyone with the message of love, hope, charity, and service that exalts peace, peace, peace. Be ye peaceful. And you would surprise that when after that incident, when I first time met him in ashram, he said in Hindi, आपके जीवन में ये बहुत बड़ा आंधी तूफान आया है, लेकिन सिसी ठाकुर जी बोले हैं, आप अपने हाथ में शास्त्री का विधान, दंड का विधान आप अपने हाथ में मत लीजिएगा. तूफान जैसे ही आई है और जैसे केले का पेड़ है, आंधी तूफान में उखड़ के चली जाती है, आपके जीवन में भी ऐसे ही तूफान आई है, ये पहले से लिख के लाए हैं. और आप जब आंधी तूफान आपको उखाड़ के लेने वाली है, तब आप झुक जाइएगा, कोई विरोध मत कीजिएगा, कोई आवाज़ मत निकालिएगा. जैसे ही तूफान चले जाएगी, दोबारा से आप खड़े हो जाइएगा, आप पहले जैसे आप हो जाएंगे. It took 8 years. I remember that incident. He said, some of the students who stood witness against you, they even don't know you. And he said, one of them has कपाल में लिख के लाए हैं, गुरु का विरुद्ध में वो कुछ दुष्कर्म करेगा और कुछ सालों के बाद उसका मृत्यु होगी. I remember that sentence. I did not realize that in 2021, that boy from electronics department who stood the first witness against me in the court, and after he's awarded PhD 2 months ago, before he was awarded PhD, he got married. He was from Haryana, and during Raksha Bandhan, he was driving a car with his family, with his elder sisters and their family, and the car met with an accident, and all of them passed away. And we got a condolence email from our dean that we all should condole this death. It was so painful for me, but I realized that what Acharya Dev said, how true it is to me. So, he, within whom you will find all resources of the world, the knowledge, the love, the activity that are spontaneous, and with the inclinations towards him, the scattered lives of all men and all the diversities of the world find a final solution, and he is the God of men. Friend, I got the opportunity to, to talk to him, to discuss many aspects of life, science, and so on, environment. And I find the peace dwells there, elates for everyone. He elates, uplifts, elevates, and the being and becoming of every human being. And so much of power, enormous, unknowable, unthinkable, and that is the message of Sisi Thakurji. I got the opportunity to work on the instruction, directions of the fifth incarnation of Sisi Thakurji here. Every time I meet him and he gives me instructions and I obey, blindly, I realized this is what Sisi Thakurji had said, that he never tries to rectify us by force. He wants to rectify us through love. And it is because he doesn't want a formal discipline in us. He wants a normal discipline. And he wants us to be disciplined naturally, internalizing by following his preach, instructions, and orders. And that's how we become becoming. I got the opportunity to work the fifth on the instructions and on the command, to fulfill the command of the fifth incarnation of Sisi Thakurji. And you will not believe what TCS or Infosys, they cannot achieve in 5 years. And on his command, we all could do in less than a year. There are many witnesses here. There are several millions of satsang followers across India. They were all brought to one fold like an Aadhaar card. It's all details. Every time he wants to connect, that he can connect. That's all details, informations at one place. There are large number of IT people. There are large number of different spheres in science, engineering, technology, and arts, commerce. They all participated in this program. And you will not believe, large number of youths through this service work on his command, they become elated, exalted, and they become happy, and they got peace. So one thing I remember, that I give you just one or two examples, that in one occasion in 2022, 2021, during Christmas, we were about to celebrate Christmas in ashram, and he invited around all the ashramites, people who stay in the ashram. There are more than 500 people, and there was a call, and I was in ashram. He said, today you are going to serve to all of them. You are going to serve the food to all of us. Instantly, my ego, my position, everything I forgot. I stood 3 hours in the evening. There was a long queue of 500 or 1,000 people. I was serving one of them, and so much of affection, love, and then enjoyment I got there. It's unbelievable, unthinkable. Friends, as previously the previous speaker told, Sujata Ma, don't be, Sisi Thakurji's verses, don't be confined to any kind of prejudice except those of Supreme Father. All prejudices are bonds. And your fate is what is just beyond the range. हम लोग देख नहीं पाते हैं सामने क्या है, इसलिए हम अदृश्य बोलते हैं. Your vision, knowledge, that is not seen, not known, hence it is your fate. अंतिम में Sisi ठाकुर जी का एक बात बोल के हम खत्म करेंगे. एक वाणी में Sisi ठाकुर जी बोलते हैं, तुम जो करोगे, तुम जिसको आवाहन करोगे, तुम जिसको माथे में लेके चलोगे, पाओगे उस तरह उसी का फल, जैसे आकाश में उठे सागर की जल. आइए हम सबको यही आग्रह करेंगे. आप भी सामने आइए. जैसे एक लोहा मैग्नेट के पास आने के बाद वो भी चुंबक, मैग्नेटिज्म उसमें प्रोपागेट हो जाता है, वो मैग्नेट हो जाता है. ईश्वर के सामने, लिविंग जो गॉड है, उनके सामने आने में अपने आप में वही चुंबक, मैग्नेटिज्म प्रोपागेट होता है. यू कैन सी there are lots of students from abroad. This boy was the Japanese boys. They are also followers of Sisi Thakurji, and how cheerful they are. this boy and this Nigerian professor, this boy in pink, sitting pink dress, sitting his student from Kyrgyzstan and undergraduate in computer engineering. He came all the way, a Muslim guy, and he took initiation by speaking to the fifth incarnation just for 5 minutes. And see, आप सबको यही आग्रह रहेगा, आप भी हम हमेशा जीवन में जो हमारे मन में जो दुर्बलता है, जो प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं, हम भी श्री ठाकुर जी के पास आए, उनका संग करें और हमारे जीवन में वही परिवर्तन होगा। और हमारे जीवन में आज यूथ कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये जो थीम है द बिकमिंग, आप सभी में वही बिकमिंग, आप सभी के जीवन में वही प्रतिपादन होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय गुरु।